Hey, it's Shaves and welcome to another expedition of the anime Encyclopedia. I had so much shit that I did today, and I'm so busy this month, so it's gonna be a lot. My goal is to finish H in the next 2 weeks. I got the rest of H edition today, and then I'm gonna do 3rd edition of H in 2 parts, and then I got a wedding at the end of this month, so I'm not gonna stream that week, basically. I was just thinking about how, like, I also want to, like, try to make a lot of headway into my Naruto script, so I wanted to, like, block out a whole week where I don't even do digest or anything, and I just do that. But we'll have to see about that. I was thinking, like, 16th to 20th or something, but I don't know if I can swing it. I have so much shit. Hey, Caleb. It's good to see you, Eddie. But yeah, I'm just really exhausted, and I got a whole work day at the camp I'm going to, the camp that I usually work at, tomorrow. But it's just going. It's not too many opinions this time, and not too many big things or anything. Still a little surprises here and there, but I'm gonna go with it just being like just a very chill stream. Not much happening, you know. Not this is what it is. But yeah, I'm just looking at the calendar and stuff, and I'm just like, man, I just have all the weekends are booked, and I have like this camp thing I do during the week. This called Cope. I do that. It's called Cope, yes. Challenging Outdoor Personal Experience. It's an acronym, but yeah. Oh yeah, what's the work weekends? I can't work when I'm gonna do one or two. Awesome. The work weekends are the 14th and 15th, it's next weekend, and 21st, 22nd the weekend after. And there probably is another one the week after that. Like, I don't know. Actually, no. I don't think it is because it's Memorial Day weekend. So probably not. But then I think there's another one like the first weekend of June. Yeah, there's another one. There's actually 2 more. Yeah, there's literally 4 work weekends, which usually doesn't happen. Usually it's just the 1 work weekend and then there's a bunch of work days. But John's gonna do some stuff a little differently this time, which I'm excited about. I can't work, but I'm gonna do 1 or 2. Yeah. That is not relevant to people who don't know him IRL. I know Eddie IRL. Just realized the music's been pretty loud this whole time. They should be okay at this point. At least the levels are all right. But I'm actually talking on the mic this time, and you know it's hopefully loud enough. I can't. Yeah, keep reading the same thing. I'm gonna wait. Yeah, it's 6:30. I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. All right. So here are the notes for the rest of H, 1st edition. High School Honor. They added this little bit, not to be confused with Justice, which has a similar Japanese title. I guess there was confusion in the 1st edition or something. I think Justice is a 1st edition title as well. I don't remember. Actually, the book is right here. Couldn't tell you. Gotta put the chat on so I can actually kind of see stuff. Yeah, so I got my scholarship. Aw, that's awesome. That's great. Does that mean you're going in that program and stuff? That'd be awesome, dude. Hell yeah. Hikarian. They added a 2nd TV series from 2002. We just added a little blurb about that. His and Her Circumstances. This was interesting, because I guess it kind of proved them wrong. The 1st edition that said, though an English language version from Right Stuff is forthcoming at the time of writing, the authors doubt whether the show's chaotic on-screen action could survive translation intact. Apparently, it did all right, and I can imagine so. I don't think it's like the Tommy Galaxy or something. Like, Karikano, yeah, has a lot of information and stuff, but it wasn't that excessive. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't remember how good. Whatever about dubs, right? No one really these days could ever judge on a dub's quality. At least they know how to, you know. It's always so sensitive. Holy Pants. Holy Pants is a weird one. That article's so fucking weird. They cut this line. Less salacious reader input informed the successful ocean. And I'm like, what the hell does that have to do with it? Because the whole article for Holy Pants is wild. It's like one of their weirdest entries, period. It's like, what the hell is going on? What is this? But then, yeah, it's because Ocean was based on letters that I had to go read their article about Ocean to figure this out. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't even know what the fucking Holy Pants is about. I'll read the article when we get to it. But I guess Ocean because it was based on letters sent to Women's Magazine, and maybe because the live action series is what was successful. Because it's like the more successful Ocean. It's like, what is that? Even though, like, you know, like both of them I don't know shit about. But it, you know, I guess that's because the live action series was a fairly popular, successful program at the time, and the anime was it just happens to be like an adaptation or something. Simultaneously happy and sad time at work. How's chat doing? We're going. We're here. It's good to see you, Annaliso. Annaliso. Sorry. Yeah. Then that's a whole article I had to read you guys later. It's fucking weird. Homeroom affairs. They added, compare with the similar very private lesson. I don't know if very private lesson was like, I think it's probably one of the more modern hentai. But it's like, oh, it's similar premise, so I'll add that, you know, to further bounce them around. Huckleberry Finn, they added about how the second series was released in English in a 1996 feature edit. They did mention the second series in the first edition, but they didn't mention how it was available in the US, I guess, in a feature edit. And then Hunter x Hunter, you know, of course, makes sense. They added a paragraph about the 2002 and 2004 OVAs. The 2011 remake, because it was out by the time the third edition came out. The movies, and they also did this little blurb, which I don't know why they didn't put in the first one, but it's kind of just a neat thing, I guess. And it's like gun sword. The X is supposed to be silent, so it's supposed to be Hanta Hanta. Hello, it's good to see you, Greg. I got added on my Discord. Sorry. So there are not that many changes, really. I think this is not that much here. H is kind of one of the smaller entries, at least the smaller sections, I guess. It has a lot more entries in the third edition, so that's gonna be great. But I didn't want to overburden myself or try to make it like a split first and third or something. I don't know. Oops, full screen to the chat. Anyway, some new additions. Cabo Toto from 1971. If you've seen it on Mal, it's like a cartoon hippo thing. 1989, Hisaishi Ishii's Whatever Theater. And then 1997, House of Acorns, Dongari no Ie. If you've been watching the streams, that might sound familiar. I'm going to get to what the fucking crazy thing about that is when I get to odd choices, because this got brought up. But also it is in the H section, House of Acorns. But like, this was when I actually got to this section. This is when I realized, wait, this was not in the first edition, and because of how I've originally. I know we talked about in a previous stream, but I'll get to that. But yeah, that's wild. That was fucking me up a lot. I almost wanted to go through Gunsword fully, because the freckled Megane with twin braids girl. Oh yeah, there's a freckled Megane twin braids girl. Interesting. They made Huck Finn an anime. Yeah, Eddie. There's a lot of old classic literature that was turned into anime. Little Women is an anime. Sound of Music, the Von Trapp story, is an anime. And all of that is Little Princess. So a lot of these were turned into this like 50 episode TV shows in a series franchise called World Masterpiece Theater. And that ran from like the 70s up to like the 90s with a little bit of a resurgence later. But yeah, there was a lot of those. And there's some pretty wacky stuff. Is like, yeah, that was technically an anime. Like Wizard of Oz has a couple of anime adaptations actually, which you'd be surprised about. One of them is Wizard of Oz in space, apparently. So that was interesting. I did read that article in the Encyclopedia. Yeah, that thing is getting subbed, right? I don't know which one you mean, Greg. Which one's getting subbed? Anyway. Positives. They were positive on his and her circumstances. Effortlessly outclasses its lookalike U.S. cousin Ally McBeal. All right. Kind of a dated reference. Okay. A very funny satire. And then Hyperdoll they were positive about. I really like their Hyperdoll article, and I'll talk about it later. It has high quality animation, good dub, and there's a spoofs of monster shows. There's a JRPG for Wizard of Oz on the DS. The Acorn one's getting subbed. Oh, I have no idea. I mean, it's just a movie, right? So I mean, if it's either getting subbed or it's not, you know. Like if it was a series, it's in the process of getting subbed. But if someone's doing it, then they're like, wow, that's great. I don't know if it was getting subbed or not. Negative opinions. Hermes. It's a Happy Science movie. Pointless musical interludes, lavish but clumsily written. Yeah, okay. A lot of passive aggressiveness in the article too. Homeroom affairs. And then when you're like, how can you tell passive aggressiveness in writing? I do think you can tell based on the word choices, and I don't want to go out of my way to. Ugh, it's a whole thing. I just get vibes when I read. You know what I mean? When you read different choices and words and stuff like that. What the heck are they comparing Karikano to? Ally McBeal. I actually haven't looked it up. I don't know exactly. Let's find out. Let's check on my anime list for Ally McBeal. Nah. Okay. It is. Oh, it had. Okay. Okay. This is wait. What? Is this okay? This is like a where are they now? I guess like because they're supposed to be in what? Wait a minute. I'll look up a little more in a second, but I just want to like because I said equivalent. I wrote it verbatim. Effortlessly outclasses its lookalike U.S. cousin Ally McBeal. What are they talking about? Wait. What? What is this? Why did it get canceled? It's a legal comedy drama series? I'm just reading it. Okay, overview. The series, set in fictional Boston law firm Cajun Fish, begins with the main character Ally McBeal joining the firm co-owned by her law school classmate Richard Fish after leaving her previous job due to sexual harassment. On her first day, Ally is horrified to find that she will be working alongside her ex-boyfriend Billy, whom she has never gotten over. That's not the same thing as Karikano. If it's her ex-boyfriend, there's a totally different dynamic there. To make matters worse, Billy is now married to fellow lawyer Georgia, who later joins Cajun Fish. The triangle among the three forms the basis of the main plot? Why is it a triangle? The guy's married. What do you mean? TV lookalike? Huh? I mean, I don't want to get friggin'... Why are we spending... Let's keep... I don't know, OP? Is there an OP for this show? An opening, I guess. I'm not gonna do the sound in case something happens. is she perfect? And then like when she's not at the law firm, she's she's kind of slippy sloppy or not slippy sloppy. That's so gross. um Kind of looks like Cowboy Bebop, actually. Like the way they're moving the in that little like Bebop. That's kind of interesting. This is from '98, I think. That's so interesting. Jane Krakowski. Where have I heard that name? No, I don't know where I've heard that name. Okay. What's the chat got to say about that? Isn't there one where IJN Yamato is a space battleship and they fight aliens? Yeah, Yamato was brought over. Yamato was brought over in the 70s as Star Blazers. Okay, I confused the acorn thing for the raccoon anime. I don't know why. Isn't there a post-apocalyptic OVA called Oz? Yeah, probably. I've not seen Karikano, but I have trouble believing this is all similar. What does this have anything to do with Karikano? Do they actually know what Karikano is? They do. It definitely sounds like they've seen it, but like I don't know what they're coming from with that. All romances with 3 people are triangle, even if there's only ever one line. Is it because the Ally McBeal MCs are both smart as well? I guess. I hope you watch Karikano eventually. It's one of my top 10 favorites. And that's something coming from Greg's. Watch over 1,300. This is also still when people rolled their eyes at rom-coms. I guess so. I see. I can kind of get it at that perspective then. I'm just going to keep Google up because it feels like Mal's just useless at this point. For the things that we're using it for, it never gets useful. Here we go. Okay. Anyway. Hermes, pointless, blah, blah, blah. Homeroom Affairs. The most amusing thing about this comedy, like italicized comedy, like, okay. That's what I mean about the passive aggressiveness, right? Like you're begrudgingly calling it a comedy, right? Like you're trying to get your personality across through your writing. I have had it on my list forever, just hadn't gone around to it. There's no triangle in Karikano. It's over 1,400 now. Oh, good for you! You know what's crazy? I noticed this. Because I watched Naruto and One Piece, so much Naruto and One Piece of the past year and a half, my Kitsu, it used to be mostly drama. Like, proportionate-wise. Like, Kitsu would do this little feature. Sorry, this is a tangent. Let me go over to Kitsu. I'll just fucking keep. There we go. Where are you at? Where are you at? This here, the drama used to be the majority, and now it's dead fucking last. Because fucking action, comedy, and adventure just blew the fuck up because it takes it, I guess, based on like the episode number and like the length of time, right? You know, 6.7, yeah, 6 months, 20 days, etc. Although that is crazy that like I'm still that far behind. I'm trying to get like a year, you know what I mean? Not even One Piece is doing that shit. Crazy. I guess I do have to go over 1,000. Rip. Or just more 50 episode shows, I guess. I don't know. But like the action comedy adventure thing just totally completely overtook it because like now it's the fucking smallest thing. I do distinctly remember that drama was a lot bigger. Now it's the smallest. It's freaking crazy. I'll leave it here. The only thing about this comedy is this distributor's hysterical insistence at every available occasion that Miyako is over the age of consent. Yeah, it's dumb. Dumb that it, you know, I get where they're coming from, but you also don't have to be like snarky about it. In my view, it's literally easier to find a show's Mal page through Google than is it the child. Yeah, yep, that is my experience. Gotta have those snarky one-liners in like a Marvel film. Hi, you hit your drama quota for your live viewing. No, but I love drama. Oh, that's a cool feature. Maybe I should make a Kitsu to see that. I like Kitsu. I'm sure that there's like external websites that can take your mal data and figure that out. Probably. Um, I do want to mention this now. I don't want to say what precisely I'm working on. But like, it's a rarity. But my boss actually wanted me to quality check, as in like watch the material and watch for video, audio, and subtitle errors. That kind of quality checking. And I've not done that since like I started like before I moved in like 2 years ago. And so I'm doing this. I'm reviewing this disc, and it's just for special features for this anime. I'm not gonna say what it is. And it had Jonathan Clements, who was one of the writers of this book, doing interviews with some of the staff for that movie. So I got to see him talking and giving these interviews and things like that, and seeing more of his personality and things like that. And I can totally kind of see it. I can kind of see it with with this sort of thing. And I do want to get more of an understanding of both him and Helen with their writing. I want to read Anime History by him, and then one of Helen's books to give like a good understanding, and also some of their, if Helen has any audio, video audio things, I don't know. But like their snark is very part of their personality, and it's like a very cynical, but from a place of caring. It is still like they really give a shit. They really absolutely give a shit about all this stuff. But they just have such a media poisoned, cynical brain about it. Like they asked, like Clements asks the guy at one point, because of the situation that I don't want to give too many details, but like, he, like the guy explains kind of what their process was, and he's like, it doesn't sound like are you sure there was no like arguing going on, or like it sounds like a big faff. And I look up what faff was. Like what is that? And I looked up FAFF. And faff is a British slang for an overcomplicated task, especially one perceived as a waste of time. And he's like, isn't this all a big faff? Yeah, I'm like, huh? But at the same time, despite the attitude being a little shitty, his questions are great. Like, he's asking really constructive, interesting, additive questions, and he's listening and having a rapport with the guy he's interviewing. And like, there's a moment where he's sharing an anecdote that doesn't really have anything to do with. It has something to do with it, but the guy he's interviewed doesn't really have anything to respond. He's like, and he's like, anyway, he just keeps going, So he's earnest, I think. I got a good impression out of him, despite his humor and cynical nature not being my thing. I understand where he's coming from. So I do want to try to, like, if I'm going to make this video, which I hope I do, I think this excursion is still cool either way, but it's nice to have that video out. It's the cherry on top type of thing. I do want to start it by really giving a good understanding of these two people and their importance to the community as a whole. And so, like, I really want to preface all that I'm going to say, and I'm going to talk a bunch of shit about this book. But coming from the perspective that's like, these guys really do mean well, and they do give a shit. They do love anime. I do believe that. Sorry, I'm going to read. God. Are there any animes about Midway or the Surigao Straits? Probably. Although the thing with Japan is that a lot of their historical war stuff is a little skewed, or a little like historically inaccurate, because they I guess they have a pattern of not really wanting to confess to their wrongdoings in the wars, so you don't often see that in anime, at least. So there is probably something that kind of depicts Midway. I don't know how accurately. Actually, there was one I remember that I think it was something. I forget the name of it. Damn it. It was one I was interested in too, so I don't quite remember. But like there is a couple anime that are very war said like kind of like historical and things. But in terms of historical accuracy, I don't know. That one's might be a little sketch. From what I've heard, I've not consumed pretty much any of them. So full for the record, you know what I mean? And I'm also not a historian. I wouldn't be in a position to be like, that's inaccurate, you know? So I'm really not one to talk. Rarity sounds interesting when it comes out, say what it is. Yeah, well, it's rarity in the fact that I haven't done that for a job. It was because the guy who usually does it was just really overworked, like not overworked, but just like backed up. Like he just had a ton of other shit he had to do. So I needed to just pinch it real quick. And it's not for Discotech. It's for another company, which they probably already announced it that they're doing that or that they're handling that. But I don't want to, in case there's some weird shit. Let me do intern work. I want to get burned out in a different industry. It's something awful. It's a something awful early internet critic era of irony poisoning. Yes, I can completely understand that. It's the true 90s kid slang. There's no faffing about, which is like wasting your time. Oh, okay, or messing around. Faff is something Brits would say casually. I don't think he meant much by it. Probably. I don't doubt that. I'm also just a very oversensitive boy. I'm a very, very emotionally easily afflicted by things, I guess. Unless I've done that thing I'm a little desensitized when it comes to media, but in terms of just other people's actions, I guess I try to, especially ones I respect or things that I don't know. I'm kind of weird. I had this apparently I don't remember this, but there's this anecdote my mom told me where in first grade the teacher called us all idiots. And it was all playful, whatever, and haha. It was none of us could get the answer right or something. And she calls us all idiots. And I stood up and I'm like, we are not idiots. And she sent me to the principal's office. Just because I was being a rousal. So that's the kind of person I am, I think, inherently. Although I'm a lot more self-conscious and shy. I usually don't I'm not a big hero or anything. Anyway, enough about me. Enough faffing about. The Humanoid. This really made me want to watch it, actually. The asterisk, as I've said, and I have to go back and really try to look for some of these because I think this is an interesting point to bring up. They start the entry calling it a truly awful Star Wars ripoff. They don't start with what it's about or who made it or any other information. Just their first impression they want to give you about this anime is that it's a truly awful Star Wars ripoff. And then they say it's also a dire reprise of Tezuka's Space Firebird or an amateurish rehearsal for the infinitely superior Armitage III. Of course. However you look at it, it is a sure contender for one of the worst anime ever made. Sheesh. Funny enough, I also happened to look it up on Anime News Network, and I found my boss's buried garbage article on The Humanoid. And I think he mentioned how he's it's actually so bad that it's funny and kind of it's endearing almost. So that puts a big smile on my face. I'm into that. Because I don't like treating things as so bad type of thing. I'm not that kind of person. The things that are so bad are the ones that just feel like a waste of time or boring or completely forgettable. To me. Twinkle Nora Rock Me, it was not forgettable. So I had fun. It was kind of a fun time. It was weird. It was kind of fun. I was thinking of making an AMV for it, actually, because I had this really silly, funny idea. I wish Golden Kamuy got an anime with better production backing. Is what it is. We'll see if it gets a complete one. I doubt it. I don't know how long the manga is totally, or how far the anime got with the 2 seasons it got. Don't know. Looked up Tamayura. Seems interesting, so added them to my list. Now my plan to watch is over 1,700. Nice. And there's a lot of anime that I say that I'm interested in, and I don't put it on my plan to watch. I don't know. I think I use my plan to watch now for anime that, like, I'm not going to remember that I was interested at some point. And it's going to be, like, for future me to be like, what is this? Huh. You know, it's just something that I came across. But I'm not going to put fucking, like, Steins Gate on there. Even though I think it is on there, actually. I put it on there, like, a long time when I first made my list, of course. Yeah, Steins Gate's in my plan to watch. But, like, other stuff now, like, Ranking of Kings is not on my plan to watch. I do something like that every month, except I never get called stupid. I blame you for this. Thank you. You know, those buried treasure garbage entries on ANN are great. Shame they don't make more. Yeah, the one who wrote them was Justin Safakis, and he doesn't write for ANN anymore. He's writing for something else, though. We'll see. Put it in AMV Hell compilation. I don't know, maybe. I would like... I don't know. Yeah. You know what I'm thinking? It's just like... As much as nobody watches my AMVs, I think they're really important for me personally to keep sharp on my video editing. Because I realized... Because I'm making something else. I'm making something separate, not for my channel and kind of for me or whatever. It's the secret. But I'm realizing how fucking rusty I am. And I just don't feel that confident in video editing these days because I just haven't done it that much, right? I'm not constantly doing it. AMVs are such good practice for video editing, in my opinion. I love making them too. So it's like, I just want to make AMVs just to keep up my skill, you know? I don't want to spend forever fucking writing. And that's kind of the thing I'm starting to... That's coming into the idea of like, oh, I might not want to make video essays anymore. Only because it's like the writing is fun. I love making video essays, but like the editing of those video essays is tough for me, or it's just like difficult and not as fun as it used to be. Whereas still making AMVs, I have the time of my fucking life. It's tough, but it's so satisfying. So I'm in that kind of weird, precarious situation right now. That's kind of frustrating. Another round of praising Armitage III by comparing it to something they don't like. Yeah, no, exactly. Or Great Digital Target, which apparently has, like, the worst transfer. Like, the only available quality in it is, like, garbage, which is so funny. Plan to watch more like The Eternal Bench. Yeah. Y'all better not leave my shows on plan to watch. Shapes, I just finished Tamayura. It was a fun time. There's like a total of 30-some episodes, but it's spread across 9 separate mail entries. Goes to show there's some things really ballooned the my completed list. Oh, yeah. I can totally get that. Sato did those, right? Is that the same series as for Junichi Sato? It's just like a bunch of girls and it's kind of, whatever. I shouldn't say that because people seem to really like it, people who watch it. But it doesn't have like a specific hook or anything. I love your Karikana and Onisama AMVs. Exactly. I just love making those, you know? I just have, and I keep getting fucking ideas. I had a really bad idea. I had like such a bad, but also kind of cool, interesting idea. But those are the bad, right? Those are the bad ideas. Those are the ones that are just like, oh boy. I'm not gonna talk about it. It's too much. It's just too much. But still, interesting. My plan to watch list is 2,000, not including sequels. Sheesh. Keeping going. And then Hummingbirds. Predictable run-through of cliches from sports anime. Can't wait to get to this sports anime article, man. Oh boy. It really is gonna be that like, oh, they may have really propagated, or maybe not even propagated or proliferated, because I don't know exactly how influential this book is. It's really hard to say, but it can really represent the attitude of a really deep in there anime fan from the 2000s, of like at least in their perspective, the UK. Because if they're saying like tedium, if their perspective of sports anime is that it's all the same and blah 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 blah, like their fatigue of it could be representative of why it doesn't sell in the West. And like, that's really sad. because it's not true. Or it doesn't deserve that generalization, just like how anime doesn't deserve any generalization. Junichi Sato directed it. Yeah, it was a hook. Girl moves to the town her father grew up in. She takes up photography. Yeah, it's a photography thing. That's right. I'm done with Kamen Rider O's, so I can get back to my backlog. Hey, epic. All right, mixed reviews. Can't wait to edit this down. Here is Greenwood. In a mere 6 episodes, there's little chance of anything but a general survey of the original's content and themes. It's so weird that they like bring it up for this and not like a ton of other things. Like that's just kind of par for the course, and like that's their opinion, but I didn't really take it as a. It doesn't seem like they're being overtly negative about Greenwood, or positive really. It's just sort of like yeah, but yeah, Hikarian. Bizarre cross between Transformers and Thomas the Tank Engine. All right. This isn't so much the opinion, but like them calling it a bizarre cross. I mean, is it that bizarre? Is it really that bizarre? Like the two things, like, whoa! They're both vehicles. I don't know. It's not that strange. I don't know. Honey the Bug. A rather quaint relic. That could be negative, but quaint is such a neutral term, I think. Anyway, spoilers for Here Comes the Mouse Bride. I get it. It's 13 minutes in a children's fairy tale. Like, they just describe the whole thing, and that's the article. Okay. Hermes. Lots of synopsis. Just like, they give the whole detail. I don't know if they give the ending away per se, but maybe what they say happens to be the ending. But it just seemed like a lot of synopsis. Tamiyura feels very similar to Sato's work on Aria. Oh, good. Skip. I'm kidding. Also, I mean, I don't know. Because Aria, that's a weird situation because a lot of what Aria comes from is from the manga. You know, it's a manga adaptation, right? Isn't Tamiyura an original creation by Sato? I can still like it, but something to consider. Hermes, yeah, lots of synopsis. Honey. Honey is revealed to be and they kind of give the entire ending away. Which kind of, I'll admit, it kind of made me interested a little bit because I'm just like, oh, that's kind of where it goes. It's kind of interesting. Or just like, sounds like a fun time. But not a big deal. Hurricane Polymar, specifically the OVA, they kind of give away some deaths, but that might just be at the very start, so it's really not that big of a deal. Like part of the premise, basically. But still does, and it felt like kind of spoilers to me. All right. Before we go to odd choices, a good one. Unfairly termed hyper dull in fandom for hyper dull. They actually defended an anime from the general fandom. I thought that was really fucking epic of them. And that's stuff I like to see more of. Like them kind of standing up for some of these shows that they were like, no, this is actually decent. Yeah, unfairly termed hyper dull in fandom, this lighthearted superhero comedy features high-quality animation, a good dub, and spoofs of monster shows stretching back to Ultraman, though its dim-witted girls in skimpy costumes accidentally causing massive collateral damage. Oh, a further debt to the dirty pair. Yeah. So here's some stuff I'm now interested in. Let's go check it out. I'm not going to search Kitsu. That's a mistake. Let's put chat over here. Let's put the text over here too, so I can to keep fucking. Where are we at? Okay. Ocean anime. So, this is based on a popular 80s live action show. It's like really, really, really long. And I guess it's just like an anime edition. And the reason I'm just happy to bring up Ocean is because they bring up Ocean. They cut it from this first edition with Holy Pants, which we'll talk about Holy Pants when we get to odd choices. Actually, did I put Holy Pants? No, I didn't really. I'm not that interested. It does sound kind of skeezy. But, you know, The thing that kind of got like, this kind of looks like bland, kind of whatever. Although that looks nice. Look at that. Looks kind of neat. What really attracted me to this was director Eiichi Yamamoto. This dude's the GOAT. He's the Belladonna of Sadness director. Really OG Mushi Pro guy. Kind of like, he almost seems like Tezuka's number 2 in that studio. Working right from Astro Boy. Isn't there one episode for this fucking thing? He's the episode director. And, Tezuka decided his original creator, but, like, he probably directed this. You know what I mean? Or it's listed as that. And he was also one of the directors. He's co-director with Tezuka on 1001 Nights. And Cleopatra, it's mainly Tezuka as well as him. It's a weird thing. But then Belladonna is all him. I didn't know he also did this one, Wansaku. And I actually found this one when I was looking for raw anime to watch. And this one hasn't been subbed. So I thought that was interesting. And yeah, he was a really major like Space Battleship Yamato guy. But then he directed Odin and pretty much fell off after that. Oh, you fell off, King. But he did other stuff like fucking this thing here. And he died recently. Like really recently, actually. And didn't that look like fucking Belladonna? Like that shit's crazy. It's him and fucking Gisabaru Sugi. Like that's nuts. This dude's so cool. His work is so cool. He directed this, and then Akio Sugino character designs. I don't know if you know Mr. Sugino, but he's one of the most acclaimed character designers. I mean, I'm making a lofty claim, I suppose, but like, I think it's warranted. He's basically Dazaki's right-hand man. They're known as the Golden Kombi in Japan. And he's still working it, but like very discreetly. He did some key animation actually for Pancreas and some Sangatsu. Wow. But his last character design role was this one here. Wow. It's basically kind of a Tezuka thing. That's neat. Cool guy. Love Sugino. So that got me interested just because I was happened to be looking at Ocean. I thought Area was a 7. So is Tamiyori, to be fair. Tamiyori is an original anime. Yeah, I remember when, like, Y Ruler of Time was, like, pulling teeth trying to recommend Slam Dunk apologetically. Oh, apologetic. That's so sad. That's so sad, dude. I can't believe that shit. The premise of Aria causes me so much distress. They moved Venice to Mars instead of building a water wall. Whose idea was that? Yeah. I would love an anime manga or whatever about Venetian gondoliers during the Renaissance. More than I do Aria setup. Oh, I guess that's fair. The Humanoid. Here I go, trusting to use Mal. Sheesh! Well, it's not the worst according to Mal. I've seen a lot worse. I've seen a lot lower rated shit. And that's on it's on YouTube too. So I am interested. Can't know much about the staff, but look at the ratings are kind of decent. Huh. Isn't that interesting? But they're just like being like the worst anime ever made. Like, okay. I got in a fucking this one really took up my attention. It was like really pulling me. Hutch the Honeybee. So this is, I remember obviously like if you've been in anime long enough and like old anime and shit, you've seen characters like this. The other one you might be thinking of is, 'cause if you're outside the US, European and stuff, the other one that you might be familiar with is Maya the Bee. And this is different. So Maya the Bee is this one right here. This is one that a lot of people were very, very fond of, and it seems like a lot of fun, like very lighthearted, very appealing designs, episodic kind of fun, you know. Apparently, this is like, I can be your angel or your devil. This one is very similar to Maya the Bee, in which it's an episodic journey type of show, except this one is really fucked up. Like it's kind of the oh, this is a children's show, like kind of typical, right? But the way that some of the descriptions here, so like I really appreciate this person going into detail about you know, the whole thing with it being brought over to the to Europe and other I guess America as well. Like a third of the episodes were missing, and they cut a lot of it, made it less dramatic and shit. And so a lot of people just like Maya the Bee was already super popular and shit. But like he really gives a good rate. They give a really good rating here. And one of the things they're describing is how dark it is, and they actually give us very specific examples of like, here's some stuff that was cut that would have caused a reaction. And I can't tell exactly if they're talking about kids and adults beating the elderly as in like human adults or insects. If like because there apparently are human intervention, like there are humans in the show, but it's mostly insects. But like there's a ton of fucked up shit that happens, I guess, or just, you know, kind of, you know, fucked up, all things considered, right? For this context, I suppose. And then there's like a whole fucking thing where like, this is the one everyone recommends, is the 70s series, and that it's the longest one. And then there's a sequel that very few people have seen, and apparently it's very shorter. And I guess they have like a rival character they add. I guess it might be that character, the red one there, that not a lot of people were big fans of. But then there's a reboot. Where is that? Then there's an alternative version from 1989, which is half a little bit shorter, and apparently just kind of has the same style, but just updates a lot of the animation. I don't know how drastically, though. Very few people are credited with it. It's obviously very obscure. But all of it's raw, available on Anime Bites. So I was really tempted to just like, I wanted to like watch this show, which is 91 episodes, along with Maya the Bee, which if you combine the first season, which is 52, oh my god, Masako Nozawa voicing the main, kind of one of the main characters here. Like that, she's the main character, and then he's like tags along. That and the sequel, which like, I don't know, it just looks really aesthetic and cute and like a chill time. I don't know when I'd ever do it, right? But it's just interesting to me. Then another 52 episodes. So like, it would be rough. It would be like maybe 10 episodes longer than Hutch. But watching Hutch and Maya together would be interesting. It's those kinds of like watch plans and stuff like that I love, and what really motivates me to watch anime all the time. Like I did that with Ippo Joe, you know. And the 1989 one is like one of two anime that came out that season. Might have to watch it to say I've seen something from that season. The 89 one. Let me see. Summer 1989. Yeah, you'd either have to watch the 89 series, or Easy Cooking Animation, which is very few people. Let's at 3 minutes per episode. It wouldn't be that bad. Toshio Harada. Hey, kind of neat. I also like the style. I also do like that style. That's interesting. Yeah. And what's another one? So I just kind of went in the whole rabbit hole, really exploring that, checking out some screen caps from Anime Bites of what the quality is and stuff. And it looks good. There's also a movie on YouTube. Like a movie compilation, I guess. Let me see which one. I think it's, like this, I think. Yuki no Melody? Oh, no, that's from 2010. Wow. Oh, wow. That's interesting. I didn't look this far. A Hutch movie. That's all it says. That's crazy. Other? No. I could have sworn I put in my watch later. I have a bunch of these anime in my watch later. Yeah, Adventures of Hutch the Honeybee. Just like kind of a lot of it. I don't know if this is the 70s one. So, you know. Are there any captions? Yes. No captions. And then you go over here and there's no captions. So it'd have to be raw. And is it in Arabic? Go fucking come on. Okay, it would be Japanese. Because usually this particular user uploads a lot of Arabic language anime and shit. Anyway, I'm so tired. Hyper Police. All right. Yeah. It's the night. Look at the eye placement there. That is so weird. But this is like, this designs look familiar. Wait for it, familiar. Who the heck was the character designer on this guy? Kenji Kawai music. Count me the fuck in. There he is, Keiji Goto. That female bee do be looking kind of nice though. Oh, in the anime there, yeah, maybe. Maya looks cute. Maya looks very cute. I like the blonde perm. Strike that from the record. Then remove the message. Too late now. A lot of key animation. I'm just gonna Control F character design. Did a lot of it in the 90s here. Bakuretsu Hunters. Nadesco. Yeah, I figured that was what it was. It definitely looked like Nadesco. Those who hunt elves, of course. Rareth. The beasts in Rareth, specifically. More Nadesco. Gatekeepers. And he didn't do that for a long time. He was a director. He did some other shit. He done the whole board. Megaru. What is this? From 2014. Dang! It's like a show from... It's a... It's only 8 minutes. Yeah, okay. No wonder nobody's seen it. And then not yet aired is he's the director for Kyoku Suiri. Kyoko Suiri. Suiri. Inspector. Gotcha. Interesting that he was the former character designer for, you know, for Nadesco and shit. Yeah, I like these designs actually. And the synopsis kind of was fun. Let me read the synopsis from the book. Hyper Police. Natsuki Sasahara is a human-feline crossbreed. Her associate Sakura is an 8-tailed fox girl, a sure sign she cannot be trusted since she needs to swindle Natsuki to gain her 9th tail. And both use their magical powers to hunt criminals in a Tokyo crawling with animal hybrids, ghosts, and goblins. Other cast members are Batanen Fujioka, Natsuki's lycanthrope senior, canine patrolman Tommy, and the two flustered humans, Station Chief Mudagami, and initially beast-hating patrolwoman Naoko Kondo. As befits ensemble cop shows like Patlabor and You're Under Arrest, downtime is important to the show as crime fighting, and the cast spends an inordinate amount of time at Makoto and Ayami Tachibana's friendly Rampo coffee shop. That's fun. Yeah, Hyper Police has the supernatural urban feel of Silent Mobius, but it's played for laughs and features a considerable dose of anthropomorphic titillation. Just seems like a fun time. And then Hyperdoll. Like I said earlier, it was just like nice to see. Oh my god, that last name. Bokusen Monzeninari. Sheesh. Just call her Sakura. Hyperdoll. Thank you. Yeah, I could see Hyperdoll, but also like Dirty Pair. Very much a Dirty Pair thing. Yeah. Sheesh, that size. Motion declined. Wait, Catgirl Police? And now that you say it, it does look like Nadesco. I actually like the Inspector anime. I know people complain that it's slow, but I never really felt that when watching it. I like the girl from Inspector. The production was pretty bad though. It is what it is. Yeah. And that's all the stuff that I thought was I was now interested in and wanted to look up with you guys. Let's keep going. Back to odd choices. Not really back to, but now we're doing them. Went to add Hyper Police to my watch list, only discovered it was already on there. Uh-oh, it's happening. Alright, odd choices. High School Kimengumi. The same crew returned with Suide no Tonshinkan. Whatever. A similar series about a gang, blah, blah, blah. Yes, okay. So let's look. So they do not have an article on Suide no Tonkin-chan. I know this because the way they write it, if there's a series they name drop that it has an article, its own article, it is in bold text. And if there's a title that doesn't have its own article, it's in italics. So like when they give like a live action movie or something like that, like Star Wars, they're gonna put in italics or something. But Suide no Tonkin-chan is another one of those that is in italics, which does mean they do not have an article for him. Now, I didn't look in the 3rd edition, actually, now that I think about it. Let me check that right now. Suide no Ton... 0 results? That doesn't make any sense. Suide. Where would it... Ugh, it's gonna be like Suides. Okay, let's see if they have that. No, they don't. In the 3rd edition, they don't have one that links. They don't link it to a different article. So they don't have an article for this entry. So let me go back and show you Suide Tone. Hey, there it is. All right. Makes sense. Very obscure. 40, but here's the thing, right? It's 43 episodes. And it was made by the same studio, and it was aired directly afterwards. And it has a similar kind of feel and even like kind of an art style almost. Like if you've never seen Kimengumi, it looks like this. And they're both jump titles. So like, you know, and this one's 86 episodes. So this one's a jump title. And then, you know, Tonkin-chan, right? It's not that, obviously not that well known, but it also went for like 18 volumes and 43 episodes. That's kind of significant, don't you think? So I'm just sort of like interested how, let me just go back. It's interesting why they don't give it its own entry, or why haven't they considered condensing like this elsewhere? You know? Why are they giving so many of these articles? Like, where... I don't understand the logic behind that. You know? It seems to me, at least, significant enough. 43 episodes? And the manga was 18 volumes? And it's a Jump title? Weekly Shonen Jump? Am I wrong? Fucking Suide no... I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong. Let me see. Base adaptation, Suide no Tonkin-chan. Shonen Jump. Weekly Shonen Jump. And, like, I get it. Like, fucking nobody knows what this fucking show is. Although I will say that the face did look familiar to me. You know? So that was just surprising. And I'm like, I don't mind that totally. I'm just surprised that this hasn't really happened elsewhere that much. At least at this extent, where it's like, wow, this is a full fucking show that they're just not giving an article to. They're mentioning it, but like, that's where they're going to place it, basically. They're not even going to give it its own article. She's enough to get me to watch season 2, but maybe I'll read the manga or something. The manga art's really good from what I've seen. I really love the VAs, which is probably enough to have me stick with the anime in the dialogue-heavy series. How bad is Inspector? I wouldn't say the production's outright bad, but it's mediocre. Inspector Anime takes every opportunity possible to have the backgrounds be straight against the camera. They are literally close to no perspective drawings, super flat looking. Oh well. So that was weird to me. His and Her Circumstances. There was a couple things about this one. For one thing, I mentioned this. I noticed this because I forget the context, but like there's this whole thing where like everyone thinks there's a we don't know where this comes from, but there was well-known information that Kazuya Tsurumaki took over the production for Kari Kano, and Anno left. Kazuya Tsurumaki became the director. There's nothing in the credits that suggests that whatsoever. You look at the anime staff credits. That's never the case. According to the people who have done this research and have looked into it. Build Knuckle, Definitive Anime Chat. When we were watching Kari Kano, we encountered that and we were like, wait a minute. So we've been trying to correct the record and correct the ANN page and stuff like that. And so in that process, there was a period where he posted it again or some update or whatever. This is something about like the Blu-ray listing or something. And I was motivated to check out the Anime Encyclopedia, so I sent them what the article was, at least in the first edition, as of 2001. And I'm pretty sure they didn't change it, because why would they, of course. Just gonna double check. They have director Hideaki Anno, Kazuya Tsurumaki listed as director. They don't mention anywhere anything like that in the article itself. But like he's credited as director, but that never actually happened. He was never formally credited as the director. Maybe episode director somewhere. But yeah. Anywho. And then there's this quote. This was cut in the third edition, and it's just like, I mean, I'm pleased that they did, because I guess there was no problems. But it's just, again, it is. I wrote it specifically because it's another instance of them inserting themselves and kind of breaking the fourth wall a bit, and just be like, the authors or the encyclopedists think this. Yeah. And then this is a small nitpick. It's not that big of a deal. It kind of like threw me off guard a bit. In terms of off-the-wall experimentation, it rivals the earlier Fist of the North Star. And it's like off-the-wall experimentation. You think of like how experimental Kari Kano is. Like the equivalent they give is Fist of the North Star? And I do know what they're talking about. And they also do talk about the experimental techniques in their Fist article. They do mention some of the things that later episodes do, because I guess they ran out of money or something. It's just strange that how that's the one that they point to when it comes to experimentation. Like, okay. I'm not a big. I don't think I can't give that many other examples, I guess, in terms of experimentation. Well, that kind of weird stuff, I guess. But I don't know. Weird stuff kind of happens all. Like, 1001 Nights has some experimentation, with the live action like the underwater scenes, and using like a funnel, upside down funnel to make like a tornado, or the live action sets, like the models and stuff, using that. That's kind of experimental, but maybe that's not what they're talking about. So that was just kind of a weird comment. That's like the Fist of the North Star of all things you're comparing this to. You know what I mean? Wait, so are you saying Anno did direct the last episodes of Kari Kano? That old Digibro video lied to me? That was very common knowledge, very common information. But yes, it's a lie. I'll link you the thread that if I can find it. I'd have to go fucking digging. Build Knuckle. Yeah, just like advanced Twitter search or something. Oh, maybe my this would be kind of big brain of me if I link the Twitter thread in my Kari Kano AMV, because I also disproved this in my Kari Kano AMV. Please come up. Yay!
So I've got
Yes, a Twitter thread if you don't believe me. Perfect. All right. let me link it in the description or in the chat. Yeah, check that thread out. It's been updated every so often, but that's pretty much the big one. All right. Where was I? Yeah. So I got my essay written. Okay. All right. Okay. Pants no ana, or holy pants. I put pants no ana so I can actually pull up the actual. Okay. I'm gonna pull up the Mal page for this first. Of course not. Fucking hell. Live action thing? There we go. Sheesh. Alright. Let me read you their article on this. Keep in mind, there's no visual. I don't get any visuals or anything. Holy Pants, Desire on a Stroll. The ad blurb claims that this is a sweet, humorous look at teen worries born from the real-life concerns of correspondents for Bomb magazine. An excellent excuse to blame the audience if a project is unsuccessful. Since there were no follow-ups, we can assume that the experiment was a failure. Bro, what is this about? What is the anime about? Let me read you the fucking entry again. Like, if you have no fucking visuals to this, what are you talking about? And that's all it says. This is the entire freaking article. Look how fucking short this is. It's this right here. That's it. The ad blurb claims that this is a sweet, humorous look at teen worries born from the real-life concerns of correspondents for Bomb magazine. An excellent excuse to blame the audience if a project is unsuccessful. Like, another kind of a snide comment, but also a little bit of a dig on anime fans. Since there was no follow-ups, we can assume that the experiment was a failure. And then another thing about, like, since there's no follow-ups, like, it's like if it gets a sequel, it gets more things, then that automatically indicates success. Like, it is a indicator. It is definitely a indicator if something is a success, if it has more installments, but it's not the be-all end-all. Like, it's just like, oh, I guess that was a failure. It was only one episode. Oh, I guess fucking Akira was a failure. It was only one movie. Like, what are you talking about? You know? Like, it's weird, right? Just weird kind of finding, like, grasping for something shitty to say. But then you don't even know what this fucking thing is about. You don't even know what the fuck it's about. That AMV kicked so much butt. Thank you. Best Karikano AMV out there. I appreciate it. Okay, that's an interesting thread. Wonder when that misconception was created. That's what they're trying to find out. And this book was written in 2001. And they thought that Tsurumaki directed it. Where did they get this information from? Not sure. Since there was no follow-up, it's a failure. Bruh. I know. Since no Gits 3, we can assume the Gits movies were failing. Well, then they'd argue, oh, well, it got a TV series and da-da-da-da-da-da. But then, like, they get so cynical when a series is successful, and it's like, oh, so many movies. Oh, got another OVA. They resurrected it yet again. And it's like, pick one. Christ. You know? Yeah, but then, like, that's the whole article. And you don't have an understanding of what this fucking thing is. It's literally, like, not the point. It's literally functionless. I'm not saying the entire encyclopedia is worthless because it doesn't fucking... Who gives a shit? Like, apparently this fucking, like... This, OVA is kind of a piece of shit, right? So what it actually is, it's a collection of short stories, all of which are perverted to various degrees. 32 minutes. You could say that in the encyclopedia as well. They do give you that information. And then, like, these are actually kind of decent, descriptions of each of them. They kind of give you there's this super amateurish charm feeling to it or whatever. And it's like, I'm not even going to bother. I'll explain one of the scenes. This is not a great review, all things considered, but I get where they're coming from at least. I can kind of get a better idea of what it's supposed to be. But, like, it's way better than what this fucking thing... Like, this is so unhelpful. Why put it in the fucking encyclopedia at all? Like, why bother in the first place? Like, don't bother then, I don't get it. Homeroom affairs. Quote of the week. Not to be viewed by minors under 18. As opposed to what? Because it's the whole thing of, like, with homeroom affairs of, like, it was hysterical that the distributor's hysterical insistence at every available occasion that Miyako's over the age of consent. Quote of the week. Not to be viewed by minors under 18 as a view opposed to what? I don't know. Whatever. It's like, Humane Society. Slightly incoherent message. As in Devilman, how were demons supposed to save us from Satan? Like, they're just talking about something else about Humane Society, kind of just talking a little bit about the, As a matter of fact, I don't think I actually wrote that as an opinion of theirs. I'll put it as I have to look up what their full thing on Humane Society is. Let me see. But, like, what I was going to comment, the reason I wrote that, and I did put next to the Devilman section that, like, here's a weird choice when they talk about Devilman elsewhere. They have this, like, little nitpick of, like, how are demons supposed to save us from Satan? Like, are you referring to the original OVA or, like, his original manga and stuff where there is a character literally called Satan? Or are you referring to the TV series? Right? Because there is kind of a difference with how Devilman works in the original TV series, where Akira Fudo dies and the demon inherits his body and he's just using his body, versus the OVA where Fudo is still alive, but he's able to just summon. He's able to use the powers and summon this other spirit, right? But, like, if you're referring to the original manga and the OVA and Crybaby, kind of the quote-unquote proper canon, whatever, how are demons supposed to save us from Satan? Because one of them was a human using the power of demons. Like, turning their power against them. That's how. I don't know how complicated that is. Weird Devilman take, TBH. Yeah, you know what I mean? I was just like, what a weird nitpick. Like, how are demons? It's like, can you just not? Like, can you imagine sitting in, like, on a couch with them and you're like, how am I supposed to say from Satan? I don't know. Find out. Watch the show. It's ironic. There's an irony to that, right? Like, is that how it works? Okay, Humane Society. I have to just double... Like, there's definitely some things where I'm like, yeah, they don't really give their opinion. I'll read this now. I remember this one. It was actually kind of interesting. In an anime... Let me get the cover, because I've never seen it. I don't know what this looks like. Humane Society. I think it's this one. Alright. It's the only cover for it, okay. Orphan fan subs. Nice. In an anime adventure featuring one of Japan's most eccentric pop groups as themselves, the 5 members of rock band Sekima II must save the world from the demonic forces of the Tower of Babel. Claiming to be demons from the other side of the universe, the KISS lookalikes announced that the apocalypse was coming in 1999, and that ownership of a ticket stub from one of their black masses would entitle the holder to salvation. Despite a slightly incoherent message, as in Devilman, how were demons supposed to save us from Satan? Second by the Second gained many fans, particularly among young office ladies who thought they were cute, with some of their best songs including Pinky Dinosaur, Frightful Restaurant, and Stainless Night, the later used in a Beast Warriors spin-off CD. They also sang themes, and this is just like talking about the band itself, not even so much about the OVA. It pretty much does it kind of almost entirely ignores the OVA and just talks about like the band specifically. God, I wish they had continued the late 80s, early 90s OVA. The two that were made were so good. Panda, I don't know if you're familiar with Amon Apocalypse. I mean, you probably are. That's pretty much, yeah, it's this one. This is pretty much the third one. And they, they go all the way with, it's not a full, like, completely accurate adaptation, of course. But they do have the whole, Miki scene and that sort of thing. There's a really Kino moment that I had to find it. Let me I really want to find it actually. It's from this guy who he posted like just a clip of it. I'm just like, wow, that's really nice. What the fuck is his name? Yes. To find it was obviously a while ago, and he posts a lot, so I don't know if I'll find it. I'm looking through his media though. Let's see. I hope it doesn't get like taken. I hope it didn't get like taken down or something. Yeah. Check this out. Boom, 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 boom. Fucking. Yeah. Here we go. Let's just put it over here. Okay. Check this out. Let me pause this for a sec. Like, I love that. Like, that's so cool. I like the aesthetic. I loved the music. Really slow, nicely, methodically paced. Maybe the whole thing's kind of whatever, and yeah. But, like, I loved that, personally. I actually thought that was really sick. So I'd probably recommend that if you really wanted to keep going, besides those two. Also, that Devilman take has Nostalgia Critic vibes. Yeah. What was it called again? Apocalypse? Yeah, Amon Devilman Apocalypse. It's technically a sequel. And it is on YouTube. The thing is on YouTube, but it's in really bad quality. It's not in this quality. I really think watching it in this quality definitely helped me love it and appreciate it. The scene in particular. I really liked it. It's technically a sequel, but I think it's a different staff. I mean, yeah, sure, it's a different staff. It was made in it was made in 2000 compared to like 86. I believe it's a different staff. I like it, but the feel is different than the other two, which is why I don't quite consider a conclusion. I mean, it's as close as you're gonna get. Still in 4x3, they're pretty much using very similar, they're very similar character designs, I think. Really close. I just think it's really excellent, honestly. Anyway, I'm not gonna check just Twitter on my fucking. Sorry, just gotta go back. that was pretty much it, actually. Yeah, it's about an hour and 20 or so. I really want to complete the thing I was doing for work. The quality check thing I was doing. I really want to finish that, so I want to get off in a few minutes. We'll leave to like 8 minutes or so. We can chill a little bit though. That part is very keynote, yes. Yeah. Just chilling though. So that was not a bad. Oh, for some reason I didn't. Thank God I remembered this. I think it was because I was going to mention it here, and I thought I brought it down here or something. When I got to this House of Acorns, I don't know if you guys remember, Dongari no EA. This was mentioned in their article about girl power, and girl power is 2004, so it wasn't in this first edition. It's in the third edition, and that's the one where they're like, there's a deaf character. And they're like, apparently someone hasn't heard of Dongari no EA. And then I make this point where it's like, fucking who's heard of Dongari no EA? And like, it's so obscure. And it turns out it's so obscure. They didn't have Dongari no EA in their own encyclopedia for the first edition. Even they didn't know about it. I mean, maybe they did, but they didn't put it in for time. Like, they can make excuses, okay? It's an excuse. I think it is a little dumb and silly to make this quip. It's a quip. It's a joke. Sure. I'm like, oh, somebody hasn't heard of Dongari no EA. Apparently neither have you. Where was it in your first edition? And I get it. Like, one of the things I'm just like, oh, I don't want to scrutinize them too much for something that's absent in the encyclopedia. But like, I've not really had to worry about that too much because they pretty much have everything. They have things that didn't even actually come out. They have fucking lost media in this first fucking edition. Like, they are the most thorough you could possibly ask for. Sure, they don't have some things, but like, this is incredibly impressive for how much they actually have. But like, when you make a joke like that, and the fact, like, it's basically I don't know if you can consider it hypocrisy, but it comes off as hypocrisy to me, where it's like, you made this joke in the third edition, it's like, somebody hadn't heard of Dongari no EA. Neither did you, when you made the first edition. It's like, what the fuck? It's just so funny. Also, the quality I'd seen it in is much worse. Is high quality available now? I guess. I mean, that guy posted it in good quality. Let me, I'm not gonna check now. I could check now, actually. I'll just check now. I don't know if you guys have access to Anime Bytes. But, like, it looks like it's in good quality, yeah. I do think the quality could help you with with, like, really appreciating what's going on visually. I mean, that certainly helped me personally when I saw that scene come up on my timeline. I was like, ooh. Double Man, Aim Apocalypse, 720 by 480. This one. It's a gig. It's not saying what size it is, but what Which one's from this? Oh, this is actually a much more recent upload. This is from 2020, 720 by 480p. It's definitely going to be a lot better than, like, 240. This is what it's like on YouTube. Yeah, I recommend it. Looks much better. Clowning on themselves. Yeah, for real. Yeah. So, interesting session this time. I definitely think I'm gonna download a lot of these VODs and cut a lot of our tangents and other things like that. Question, just interacting with the chat, maybe things that are like relevant to the thing, but I just want to like trim it, just for me, for when and also like maybe properly time mark it, because I'm making it very generally. I'm doing very vague chapter marks in on the YouTube VODs. I will check that out. Should get around to rewatching the OVAs anyway. Yeah, I should get to watching them proper. I actually haven't seen the OVA. I've seen Crybaby and that's it. I mean, no, I feel like I've seen Birth. I don't think I put it on my mouth, on my Kitsu though. No, yeah, I really haven't. So I don't think I've ever seen it proper. I've seen clips, of course, but and seen a lot of coverage of it, but yeah. Yeah. Oh. Sorry, it's not really proper stream etiquette, I suppose. I haven't seen any Devilman yet. That's so weird, Greg. That's so weird. That's crazy. Sheesh. I mean, it's not the worst thing, but yeah. Well, I think that'll about do it for this installment. Thank you two for coming, and other people that were here in the chat as well. I didn't really announce this in advance or anything, so fair. I just kind of popped on live or whatever, so I'm happy you guys showed up. Those of you guys who are enjoying the VOD and VODs in general, I know that they kind of slowly get views over time the more I do them, a little bit. Hope you've enjoyed them. I appreciate you checking them out. Yeah, Birth is probably my favorite piece of Devilman media. I actually think it improves the part of the manga it covers. Yeah, I believe that. Seems pretty good. All right, you guys have a good week. Yo, peace.